The wind, I feel like, really loved us this weekend.
Man, you know, for summertime, you just don't expect that.
Sure.
We had gusts 40, 45. You know, it's kind of hard to picnic.
Right.
45 mile an hour winds. Good news, things have settled down a little bit. Here's a live shot out across Lake Meredith. How about that, man? Nice and green. Of course, we had a pretty good storm blow through there last night with a lot of wind, like Ali said, about 60 miles per hour. But we got some decent rain. Notice it's really greened up there. The wind is down for the moment. Here's an estimate based on radar where the rain fell last night. We had a cluster of storms go right across the Canadian River. You know, Channing getting a little bit of hail there, a lot of wind. But places like Borger, Fritch, Dumas, 60 mile an hour winds, Stinnett, down about Skellytown, and even Pampa getting into some gusty winds. But a big belt of rain just north of Amarillo, up north near the Canadian. Couple inches of rain, 2.5. For Amarillo, though, man, the rain was limited here to the northern and western parts of the area. Not everyone got some rain, but I did. Let's take a look at the rain gauge showdown. Here's the news that I alluded to earlier. We are tightly packed at the top. Notice I got the most rain last night. I got .35, almost caught me up to Sheldon and Kevin. They're right there over 11. Shelby got some decent rain, about 1/4 of an inch, so she's starting to make a move, it looks like, at 8.31. And if you didn't get rained on last night, you got a chance again later today. I'll get to that coming up. Behind the rain, we started off in the upper 60s to right around 70, but the wind down. We do have a healthy breeze, I'll call it, but nothing like we had over the weekend. Right now we're about 10 to 20 miles per hour, so we can handle that. Temperatures are not bad, keeping it a little bit below normal for this time of year. We're 87 down in Childress, that's the warm spot. Here in Amarillo, it's 82, but we have places like Clovis and Clayton, Dalhart still in the upper 70s, and we're only going to add on a few more degrees. We are rich with moisture. Notice our dew point map, really green. I mean, we got dew points well into the 60s, so we're loaded up with a pretty good plume of moisture that I talked about right across this area. This is where we have a marginal outlook for any kind of heavy weather. Last night, as I mentioned, had some storms with a lot of wind, a little bit of hail mixed in there. We could see a few storms late today and tonight that do have some strong winds or maybe pockets of small hail. So this is a marginal outlook for most of us except the southeast. Now, when we take a look at the threats that we do expect, we have a moderate risk of some flash flooding. I mean, if you've been picking up some rain, like that belt I showed you a few moments ago across the Canadian, it wouldn't take much to get some runoff there. Strong straight line winds, moderate to high. I think that's probably the factor that we're most likely to deal with. Large hail, I've got that low to moderate. Tornado is pretty low, but you know, you never know around here. Things can happen that are unexpected. We'll keep an eye on that, but I think the tornado risk is low. This is current down around Dimmitt and Tulia. We have a couple of thunder showers that have popped up. These are not severe, but it's going to rain a little bit there around Tulia, Cress. Moving northward up towards Happy and Wayside. That could be a round one of some activity. Our model run really shows that it's late today. Again, coming out of New Mexico, 6 p.m. to about 10 or 11 p.m. Another round of storms. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Just stay tuned and track with us as we get later on in the day. The forecast. Next couple days, high pressure off to the east. We got that plume of moisture coming up. That's going to keep the chance of rain going with all this moisture in the air. So it'll be probably a little more scattered the next couple days, but here's rain chances, and we'll just go ahead and take that over into our 7-day supercast. And you're going to see temperatures staying in the upper 80s for a couple days. Rain chances off and on. This weekend, we kind of get up into the 90s, but nothing extreme, and it sure is nice to have the rain chances up and the wind down here.